Hi, Louis. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Thank you for having me here, Elijah.
Beautiful. And thank you for coming too, It means a whole lot, man. Thank you. Okay, Louis.
Yeah.
I am quite excited to have you on the show for a couple of reasons. Firstly, my interest in seeking knowledge, because I believe in order to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. Okay. The second reason why I'm excited to have you on the show, Louis, is because I believe, because of my audience now, I believe there are some things that Louis knows that some of my audience needs to hear you say this stuff, directly from your mouth, in order for them to experience transformation. I firmly believe that. And thirdly, now, that is me. I believe there are some things I'm definitely going to learn from your story, your insights, your experiences. So for that reason, Louis, let us get started with your introduction, how the journey has been so far, the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them. And afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, over to you. So let's get started, Louis, with your introduction, the
Okay.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Elijah. I don't know how far back you want to go. I'm the son of immigrants from Colombia, South America. Grew up in the United States and in a town called Central Falls, Rhode Island, which is a very poor, underprivileged town where a lot of immigrants come into the United States to work factories and cleaning jobs and such. And that's the environment I grew up in. And I was the first in my family to, go finish high school and go to college. And I've also been fortunate enough to get a master's since then as well. And so I had some pretty early success because I was starting from pretty low standards, and then in my 20s, I had a lot of success selling real estate. I used to buy homes to fix them up and sell them in Baltimore, Maryland, which is another part of the United States, and it went really well till about 2008. And in 2008, my we had the great financial crisis, and it was mostly affecting real estate, and so we lost everything at that time. Right, we lost our home and our business, everything, and had to start from ground zero again. So that's really where my transformation started to come through, because I dedicated the next, really till now, all that time to learning how I could have prevented it, what went wrong, how to, build a sustainable business that will provide for my family, regardless of what happens outside of my control in the markets and what have you. And a lot of that I learned through long distance running. I got into long distance running at that time, and it helped me really instill, a lot of great disciplines and meet a lot of great people. And it took me, by getting away from it, from business and learning all of the soft skills, I think that you don't think about, like again, discipline, being around the right people, adapting, learning from your failures, keeping a positive attitude, all those kind of things. I learned to apply them into business, which makes it a lot easier and more fun now, right? So,
Right,
yeah.
right. I got that. You know, you're such a smart man. Let me say that because you use a very powerful
Oh,
word. You say you dedicated your time to learning. You know, how I wish most people can come to understand that in order to leave a terrible situation now, it takes the application of knowledge, dedicating time to seek knowledge, to seek that quality information, on how to get out of that situation, just like you did. And that's a smart one, man. I love that. Okay, so
Thank you.
shall we get started with the questions, Louis? Now, poverty is a very, very great, evil, bad thing. It ain't good at all. And most people are soaked into poverty now. So let's say someone asks you, hey, Louis, how can one escape the cycle of poverty? What would your response be?
Yeah, I agree with you. First of all, Elijah, that it is it's a pandemic, really, right? And I think our institutions are set up to to keep people in poverty, right? And I don't want to get too controversial here, but I think a lot of that. I grew up in a very religious environment where they believe, being poor is good, and being rich is evil. And so a lot of that starts with what we're put into our heads early on, right? Um, when in reality, having resources, which comes with wealth and richness, is allows us to do so many great things for the world, right? But we don't think of that. We just think of as evil people who are rich as evil. So I think a lot of that starts really early. Right now, we're going through a political election in the United States, and we're hearing one party talking about, hey, you can't vote for the other one because he's a billionaire and all his friends are billionaires. And, I'm not taking sides here, but I'm just saying, hey, that has nothing to do with it, right? You can be a good person, whether you're rich or you're poor or whatever, it doesn't matter. So I think that's a big part. And then, after that, I think, at a basic human level, we have to survive, right? We have to get food, we have to get water, we have to have shelter, that stability. And it's very hard to climb out of that until you have those things, right? And then once you do, and you get out of that survival phase, I think that there's a phase of thriving where you can really, have more resources. But if you come from an area where you were just struggling to survive, the mental challenge is really hard, right? Of how to thrive. You feel guilt. I mean, I felt guilty having money in my pocket when I had money, when I've had money. When I earn it, sometimes I feel like, oh, it comes so easy. I should feel guilty about it because my parents were working really hard in factories, to earn something, and it still wasn't as much as sometimes I can earn with a conversation, with an idea, right? So I think a lot of those mental challenges are really, really hard to overcome. And what changed it for me, again, going back to running, I started to run around different people and that were very successful in all areas of life. They were very good parents. They were very good husbands and wives. They were very good at business and career. They had very good health. They were very good with their spiritual practice, whatever, if they belonged to a church or what have you. They gave back to the community. I just found it to be incredible. And it reframed my way of thinking that you can have it all. You can have money and still believe in God and give back to your community and be a good parent and all of these things. So putting myself with those people allowed me to start seeing that is normal, and then everything else starts to fall into place, I think, right? You start to get more disciplined. You get up earlier to work on yourself rather than just get up to go to work, because everything starts with working on yourself, right? And I mean, adapting, taking a failure as a lesson rather than just failure. It's an opportunity to learn so many other things like that.
Amazing, I got that.
Yeah.
You took it right
Thank
from
you.
the root, and I think you're very correct because religion has played a great role in keeping people in poverty. You're saying it is evil to be rich and just remain poor. When you die, you're gonna enjoy all of the benefits. Just I get that. That was well explained,
Mm-hmm.
actually. I love that. Okay,
Thank you.
we still have some questions here, Louis. So
And
take
by the
for
way, I just
instance,
want to
yeah.
say I have no problems with religion. I'm a
Mm,
religious person too, a spiritual person too. So I
mm.
don't want it to be taken the wrong way,
Nah, I get
But
it. I
I
get
do
it.
think, yeah,
Yeah, but you see,
yeah,
you see. I think
yeah,
the word I would appreciate the most is you're a spiritual person because I
yes,
prefer to be regarded as a spiritual person than a religious person. I think
yes,
that's a conversation for another day. Okay, so now
yes.
for someone who want to become a great real estate agent, how can it be possible for such? What suggestions or advice or information would you share with such a person?
Sure. This kind of goes hand in hand with, climbing out of poverty and growing your wealth, right? Because I think at the heart of it all, to be a great real estate agent or a great real estate investor or a great business person, anything, it comes down to wanting to help people, wanting to give and serve people. There's I'm sure you've heard of Warren Buffett, right? He had a partner. His name was Charlie Munger, who passed away about a year ago. And Charlie Munger said, if you want to make $1 billion, go help a million people, or $1 billion, go help 1 billion people, something like that. So it's the same way. It means at the end of the day, it comes down to wanting to help people, with their housing needs. And so as an agent, yeah, you can, again, it's a basic need that we all have. And if we look at it as trying to help people get their first home and then maybe use that home to grow some equity, to buy others and provide shelter for others and help them build their wealth at the same time. And we learn everything that takes so we can teach it to others. Then that's where it really, in my opinion, that's what it takes to be a good agent at the root. Then on top of that, you got to learn all the business skills with it, right? You have to learn negotiations and marketing and salesmanship and just how to analyze properties and how to work with others, how to bid vendors, all kinds of different things. But at the root, it still comes down to wanting to give and help others.
Wanting to give and help others. Service comes first. I got that. Okay. So, how were you able to stay positive in the face of adversity? Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, it's been a work in progress, Elijah. I like when I mentioned 2008 and everything going down with me and my family, I didn't stay positive. I got very negative. I developed bad habits. I drank probably too much, was pretty unhealthy. And again, going back to running, that kind of taught me to start looking at things different and surrounding myself with positive people, no matter what would happen. If we have a bad run, things aren't going well. I saw all these people who still put a positive spin on it, and you just, when you do that and you just look for the good. I had a coach one time actually even told me, for every negative I have, for everything that I can see that can go wrong, to make sure I come up with at least one thing that can go right. And that was an initial exercise that I had, what's something that could be positive. And it was very hard for me before. I was in a dark place where I just couldn't see any hope. And all I saw was really only bad can come out of this. But when you force yourself to just look for something good, you fall and you get hurt. Oh, well, maybe that helps you, that forces you to slow down and read more, things like that, or at least you didn't break anything, things like that, just little things. And you start to be grateful for them, practice gratitude. And that really helps reframe your mind and create more positivity. And from positivity, you can start to have big ideas. You connect to people more. People are attracted to people who are positive. They want to do business with them. So it's a very big trait to have in practice. But it does take practice because we all have our ups and downs. And if we focus on our downs and let them make us negative, it's not a good thing. It can spiral the wrong way very quickly. So.
I got that. Like you said, gratitude helps reframe your mind. That's a powerful one. I love that. Okay, so to bring this to an end, Louis, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those ones who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you do, maybe you said something that resonated well with them and they would like to learn more. How can that be possible?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So first of all, I also have a podcast. It's called the Wayfinder Show. And much like yours, Elijah, we interview very successful people and thought leaders in different areas that we want to learn from, so we can get better, right? So we can level up in some area of our life. And that's usually on every 2 days a week. It goes live every Tuesday and Friday. And we have a newsletter for that as well. So if people come to our website, wayfindershow.com, they can sign up for our newsletter. I also, if they want to learn more about real estate and get involved, this is something I've been starting to do, is maybe more coaching with it. Because a lot of people are starting to reach out to me and want to learn more about real estate. And what I'll do is I'll have an initial consultation with people. They can go through my website. The website is Pioneer Group Realty.com. They can schedule a free 15-minute consultation, and we'll look at a strategy for them. That could be anywhere from just buying your first house to developing a big portfolio or getting into development or becoming an agent. I'll look at what the person's goals are and where they are in their life, and then we can realistically look to how to take the right steps to get to achieving those goals.
Beautiful, beautiful. When you're good at something, people would always want to learn from you. And listening to what you said about how to be a great agent, a real estate agent now, that part where you said service comes first. You have to have the mind of helping the people now. That's a great statement, and it shows that you're just so good at what you do. So I love that, man.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to be the end of the show, Louis. Thank you for coming, and thank you for, sharing this amazing stuff with us. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Elijah.